Hello, everyone. Welcome to Realtor on the Roof, and thank you for joining me today. I am Stephen J.B. Davis, your land specialist and residential realtor here in Central and Southeastern Kentucky. This is the show where we get to know home professionals as pros and as people. And today I am joined by my friend Dale Crosby of Crosby Contracting. Thank you for coming today, Dale.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So Dale is actually a past client of mine, so I've been really excited to have him because we met what feels like years ago, but
It was a long road.
It was a long road. So why don't you tell everybody like how we started and then how you ended up? Because what your goal was ended up sort of changing, or at least it got accelerated. Maybe
Our goal flipped.
Yeah.
Pun intended. Well, my wife and I moved down here in the spring, and
you're Northern Kentuckiers, right?
Yeah,
Kentuckians.
yeah. Well, she's originally from down around here, but I'm
Gotcha.
from up in Cincinnati originally, anyway. And so we sold our house.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a house down here, and our realtor up in Florence, she put us in touch with you,
Mm-hmm.
and my wife and I, we were like, well, let's buy a house, we'll flip it, and we'll just go from there. And the end goal in like 5 years or whatever was to have a farm with property and horses. She likes therapeutic riding. She wanted to help disabled children. After months, seems like years,
It was a long time.
and losing
Yeah, we unfortunately
several
lost
houses,
a lot. Yeah.
but just barely though, according to what they actually went for. We were like, okay, we really need a place to live. Stephen, go find us a house that we can live in. And so, I don't know how many houses we went through. What, maybe a dozen?
It was kind of a lot. I didn't count, but yeah.
I didn't really count.
Once that goal changed, it was just like,
Yeah.
let's find a house. We started seeing lots of other houses that weren't necessarily flips, but just like something that you could be happy in,
Right.
but still kind of temporary.
Yeah, that was kind of the aim. But then you ruined all of that.
Mm-hmm. I do that.
Yeah, we had mentioned, what our end goal was,
Yeah.
was getting a property, a farm with land, etc.
And then I had to go and find
You did.
a house with
did.
property.
Uh-huh. Now you were ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
But we went ahead and did it. It's really worked out great, so far anyway. It's only been a month and a half.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. It was a fun road. We learned a lot about each other and a lot about bank-owned properties and we learned a lot, and that was it was really valuable. So I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy you still like me.
What's not to like? You're an easy guy to get along with.
So that's kind of our story, but you are a contractor and you're very skilled and very knowledgeable about that. Your background is in the Navy, correct? You're a vet?
Yes. Yeah, I was in the Navy almost 6 years. I was out in Pearl Harbor on a submarine out there. And I got out in 2002. Almost didn't get out because 9/11 happened. So that was a little touch and go for a little bit. But ultimately I got out. And they trained me as electronics technician. And I've been in electronics pretty much since then. But I was doing contracting side work, the whole time, and then my wife actually convinced me to just make it official and start the business.
Make it Facebook official, man.
Yeah.
And you will be able to find him on Facebook, but we'll get there at the end. Well, do you do anything else besides, like, do you travel a lot? I know that you guys just got back from Savannah, but is that a frequent thing for you?
We both like traveling a lot. I don't travel nearly as much as Claire does, but I do enjoy traveling. It was one of the reasons I went in the Navy.
Sure.
And was it last year? Last year, our vacation, I finished getting into my 50th state. So I've been in all 50 states now.
Seriously?
Yep.
Wow. What was the 50th one?
Maine. And we
Got
went
it.
during the summer because I'm not a cold person.
Okay. I guess you're in the right state for that. It doesn't get too cold here, but Maine was your 50th state. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I don't know that I've been to 25. Been to a lot, but not to 50. Whoa.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember like most of them? Like,
Well, a lot of them, I mean, there's a reason they call them the flyover states. They all look the same.
sure.
I don't recommend driving through them. It's literally, it's just flat. It doesn't change.
Hmm.
And then let's see, when I visited Mount Rushmore, the town closest to it, I can't remember the name of the town, but it was March, because I took the northern route to get home when I got out of the Navy. And so it's March. Well, the town, every store front, like it's like an old west town. Like it's one main road. It might have had a stoplight.
Huh. I've been in
But
towns like that in Texas.
Every storefront had closed till May.
Oh my gosh.
Here I am. I'm in March,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "What do you mean you're closed?"
Like, where's a McDonald's or
Yeah.
like a something? Yeah.
One hotel was open,
Wow.
and it had the one restaurant that was open. It was the restaurant, the hotel restaurant. Stayed there the night, ate there, got up, went to Mount Rushmore, which is a lot smaller than like you think. It's a lot smaller, but it's not disappointing. It's just a lot smaller. And went there the next morning, and then continued on my journey.
There's just something from a contractor's perspective that the people watching might find valuable. One or two things, nothing crazy.
Well, first and foremost, do yourself a favor, and whatever it is that you're wanting to do, whether it's like a kitchen remodel or just installing a stairwell or a railing or putting in a deck, whatever it is, Google it and just like you're not ever going to get an exact figure. That's why you get quotes from at least 3 different people.
Get a quote.
Even if I show up, I will encourage you to get other quotes besides mine. But so you get 3 other quotes, but do your research first. Get a ballpark idea of what kind of cost you're looking at. Because a lot of people, I go and talk to them, and I try to explain to them about how much it's going to cost. And then they look at me like I have 3 heads.
Materials, labor.
Right. It's just, things cost a lot more than what you think. And then, so that would be one thing. And then the other thing is, when you get quotes, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Some more unsavory people, they'll lowball the quote to get the job, knowing that they're going to do the upcharging after the fact. Because 9 times out of 10, once you start work, the homeowner's not going to stop you.
Right.
They're going to stick with you. They're like, despite rising costs.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I just had this happen to me yesterday.
So how do you avoid that? Are you just saying like asking what this quote involves, or how do you make sure?
Well, you got to ask questions. You gotta ask. Okay, if you get a quote, like if you get a quote from me, I do line items,
Mm-hmm.
and okay, this is the job. This is what I'm going to do. This is what the quote includes. Here's a list of materials that is or is not included in that quote. So, like, what is never included in the quote is, like, if you're doing a bathroom remodel and you want a tiled shower. Well, the tile, the homeowner has to go
buy the tile. Right.
Buy the tile. Because if I give you a quote, and I did this back when I first started, I gave him a quote, and then I went and I had to go buy the tile. The homeowner picked it out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the homeowner picked out tile that was a lot more expensive than I had quoted for.
Mhm.
So I still did it.
Right.
'Cause it is what it is. You live and learn, but you can't account for people's
Taste.
taste, right? So
Their
some people
aesthetic
have
preferences, yeah. Right. I gotcha. So do your research, people. Do your
Yes.
research, have an understanding of what the process is and what the ballpark is before you enter whatever the project is, how big or how small. And it also sounds like ask questions. Don't be afraid. It's your money you're spending, and some people, it's just the way the world is. Some people, not Dale here, but some people, it sounds like, might take advantage of the fact that you won't ask questions. So ask questions. You're spending the money. You earned that money. So I really appreciate those two things. I mean, I think that they seem obvious, but a lot of people do end up getting taken advantage of or being unpleasantly surprised in the end. And so if you just lead your process with those two things, you might find yourself in a lot happier
And-
of a position.
not for nothing, but if you don't want to go through all of that, you can just call me and I will be your consultant.
Yes.
I don't even have to do the work for you. I'll just make sure you're not getting taken advantage of.
Project manager.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what that's called.
So I really appreciate you coming. You brought some donuts from Dough Daddy.
Yes.
From Dough Daddy. I'd never had those. I'm going to eat some of those off the camera. So thank you for bringing those. And thank you for joining us and sitting down with us. I am Stephen J.B. Davis. I am your land specialist and residential realtor here in Central and Southeastern Kentucky. This is Dale Crosby of Crosby Contracting. You will find all of our information in the credits. If you're watching this on YouTube proper, you'll see them in the comments. But you will learn how to find us. Just gotta look at the end there, and we'll see you next time. This is such a wonderful day. I almost don't want to get up, but we've got stuff to do, and he's got things to quote. So until next time, adios.